Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Take it away. Anyone can say something.
Hello.
Hey. This is Fly Robin with Howie Darkstar of Darkstar DJ Entertainment, Jimmy DePalma of Jimmy DePalma Entertainment, and Sean Pasin of Shining City Music Entertainment. Glad to have you guys with us tonight. Good.
Hello, Robin.
Good crew. Good crew. We have been around for some time and watched the internet become a big part of the average DJ's mobile life. And Howie and I were recently talking about how we watched young DJs grow from logging off at 10 p.m. because it was their bedtime to thriving DJs operating profitable businesses. Howie, we were talking about Brandon Harvilla of Red Max Events. How long have we known him?
It's at least a few years. He was still in high school when he started tuning in, and my gosh, did that young man take off. He's got a thriving business going on Long Island now.
Yeah, Jimmy has also watched Brandon grow up too in the business.
Yep, I did some stuff for him, some graphic stuff. I remember he was working at Wendy's.
I didn't even know he was working at Wendy's.
Yeah, when I first met him, I'm pretty sure he said Wendy's. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to say, he'd be in the chat room and saying good night, and now he's. I want to share one little picture because he's really grown. And if I can do this right, there he is. He's really grown a lot. And this doesn't look like a kid. He doesn't look like the 21-year-old.
All right,
I think it's pretty cool. If I did it right.
You guys seen it?
You didn't see it?
It was a blank screen.
See how good? And I practiced that, and it still didn't work right. But I wanted to show everybody, like he's just like really grown up, and he's handling everything. He's emceeing all his shows. He's co-oping and photo booth and playing drums. He's added the drum set to the DJ and playing along with the DJ. I just thought it was really important to bring him up and let other people know that they could probably look him up to see what he's up to, because that's one way you can do things, by looking up on the internet. Do you do that, Sean? You look up on the internet and see what other people are doing?
Yes, I sure do. And I've reached out to people. I think the first person I probably met on here was Howie, by sending him a message. Yeah, there are so many encouraging people around here on the internet. That's how I learned about our Bay Area chapter of the ADJA. So yeah, there's so much you can learn.
Yeah, I also checked you out and found that video tip of you doing the Google Search Console.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was really interesting. How does that help your business grow? I'm just curious. I mean, I did look at it, and I seen that you could find yourself. I found you really fast. Couldn't find me, but I found you really fast. And that's one video somebody might want to look up. But how's it helped your business?
Well, I think what's important is to figure out how people are finding you. So using Google Search Console helps determine what keywords are used to find your business. I think in looking at it, I've found that not everything is disclosed because it gives people some privacy. So not every Google search is tracked, at least publicly, but you can see just generally like keywords in large amounts of searches, and those keywords where you show up, and the keywords where you where someone clicks on your website. So it's vital. I mean, if anyone ever wondered how people are finding you, especially if they're looking at Google, Google Search Console, Google Analytics are a couple of things that are must-haves.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be going over that video again. Because you can't find me anywhere. I changed my name too many times, I guess. Do you know of any seasoned DJs that you could think of, Jimmy, that have really, made their footprint and other people might want to look up and check into?
Well, ironically, I have a good friend of mine. His name's Rick Belanti. All right. He's formerly a drummer. All right. Was in a rock band. And he started DJing, probably think 15 or so years ago, maybe going on 20. And he's killing it. I mean, he's a single op doing 60 plus events a year, and majority of them over $1,000, well over $1,000. And single op, doesn't buy any advertising, he just nails it on reviews. He's won the Wedding Wire 11 years in a row. It's pretty easy to get one here and there. All right, but to be consistent for 11 years and have that's pretty good.
Yeah, that really is 11 years. Impressive. Howie, how about you? Can you recommend anybody that you think some of the younger DJs might want to look up and check out? Even experienced DJs might want to do this.
I got to tell you, what it was is that I was putting up, sharing some of the things I was doing. And when I went back to check my video on YouTube, a young fellow named Brian Red came up as a suggested video because our content was similar. And here he had been doing it for over 10 years. And we became friends. And that would be, that was my go-to guy. And that's how John discovered me. He actually said, Howie, I'd like to talk to you. And I said, okay. I didn't even know who he was. And he said, I've been stalking you for a couple of months.
Yeah, that's what I kind of.
I said, "What? I don't know what you mean." He goes, your social media, and he said, you're just a all around clean guy with no drama and so forth." And he invited me to be on the show, and he interviewed me, and then it just took off from there. But it all started with me with Facebook suggesting I look at someone with similar content to mine.
Yeah, I also I admire Brian a lot, but I also admire Mitch Taylor of Taylor Weddings.
Yes,
I'm mentioning some of their business names so people can find them. I think BSR is just BSR. But you can find Brian all over YouTube by just checking out Brian Red or DJNTV videos, and you can find Brian everywhere. But Mitch Taylor of Taylor Weddings, he has a multi-op, and I just want to mention one multi-op in this. And he has a footprint in every aspect of the entertainment business. You know, he even is an officiant. And he DJs. I don't really see him DJing much these days, but he DJs. And I just want to really point out, if anybody out there wants to become an officiant, to be a backup officiant in case the officiant doesn't show up, and you know, you can be the superhero on cover. And if you want to become one, you can get with the Life or the Universal Life Church, and become a minister. It's really easy. It's like $50, and you get all these certificates and everything. And you also get a parking sticker that you can hang out. Now, this sounds funny, but you can get a parking thing where you can get right up to the event, and nobody's going to mess with your vehicle. You can hang it right on there like a handicap sticker. So I kind of like that part.
Yeah, Pastor Jay turned us on. Pastor Jay was on last night with Brian, and a few years ago he turned us on to that, and he became you know, an officiant just for that very reason you said. And he has actually saved a few weddings, and he's even gotten phone calls where he is not the DJ. Hey, our officiant didn't show up. Can you come in? Yep. Boom, and he comes in, you know, save the day. Yeah,
a few of us took his advice, like Scott did, and he's talking about Jay Brennan.
Jay Brennan, yep, the one and only.
Yes, I wanted to make sure I mentioned Jay because it was a big thing for him to do that, and I do mention it to my clients. Hey, you know, just in case. I do a lot of, you know, DIY stuff, so they don't always bring in the most reliable people. So I say, just in case, I'll be able to cover for you in case of emergency. And I think that's a good thing to have, just something else in your little backup stuff in your kit to have.
Right on, because we don't want somebody's day to, have conflict, extra stress. I mean, if we can make a difference on somebody's wedding day at somebody's event, yeah, we just go for it.
Yeah, it does seem like we're doing a lot as DJs, and probably a lot more than necessary. But if you're not prepared for certain things, their event could bomb, and we don't want that to happen. So you're right, Sean. We want to make sure that we got it. Also, I want to mention Steve Bowen, Bowen Entertainment Australia, because he does something different to promote himself. And I found this out, and something I was like, wow, geez, you know, maybe I can think outside the box myself and do something like this. I don't race a car like he does, but he puts his logo on his car. He races cars for a hobby, I think. I don't think it's a living. He probably does win money. I don't know. I guess that's why he's doing it. I'm not sure. But he has his Bowen Entertainment right on there. And I thought, wow, that's a good thing to go ahead and think outside the box and try something like that. You can also find these DJs on DJNTV, and always there's a lot of good information on there. So it looks like we're out of time, Howie. So you have any closing comments?
I just wanted to thank Sean and Jimmy and yourself and John, who we can see the Disc Jockey News logo in the background. And thank you all for tuning in. Alrighty, Robin, back to you.
Well, I was going to give it a good 5 seconds there, Howie.
Oh, that was 5.
Okay.
I was counting it.
Jimmy's our timer.
I'm here again with Howie, Jimmy, and Sean, going over things that we should be doing before your events. Jimmy, we all know that we don't show up at an event or a backyard party unless we're prepared. What do you do, Jimmy? Just a few little things that you might do to prepare.
Number 1, a equipment list. All right. Many times in the past, I've gotten on my trip. The worst case scenario was 3 years ago. I left at like 3 in the morning with the house kind of dark and everything, and made it all the way halfway through South Carolina and realized I left my luggage behind.
Oh. Yeah, that's not really good.
I had to go clothes shopping when I got down there, and I'm a big boy. I can't just go anywhere.
So that equipment list is important.
Absolutely, everything.
But the first steps that you might take, say, after you get the client and you find out the venue, what are you going to do next, Jimmy?
First thing, before I give a quote to anybody, if the venue's local, I'll swing by there, take a look at it. If I don't know it already, if it's like an hour or 2 away, that's a little bit harder. And I use Google Earth and a lot of online presence. Look at pictures, everything to get a lay of the land. If I got to go up 2 flights of stairs, my price isn't the same as if it's, roll in on a ramp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to get in there, check out the venue, say hello to the owner, and find out how they run their business, and find out where they're planning on sticking you. Because, I'm not going to agree with most of the time where they want to put you in the corner or something like that. But I also like to check out the breaker box, and I'm sure Howie does that. Checking out the breaker boxes?
I sure do. What my first thing is, for as far as gig prep goes, is that I will ask for a list of the other vendors, in particular the photographer, and so that I can be on the same page with them, basically, because the very first thing that we're going to do is make a timeline and get a list of their songs and so forth. And then it has never failed. If I can get a hold of the photographer and work with them, we will have a successful event. So that would be my tip.
Okay. And as far as when you get to the venue?
What I do, if they're local, I will do a site inspection. And as part of that, I have my my circuit tester, and I also have, which I highly recommend, it's only $20, is to get a kilowatt and just plug something in, and to see. You'll be able to tell when you actually hook up your equipment what your draw is. And if you're on another circuit, I had a fellow message me just last week that he had trouble at an event and his speakers were popping and cutting in and out. And it turned out that he was on the same circuit that refrigeration was on, and whenever the compressor kicked in, there would be a voltage drop. And so those are the things that I'm careful to look for.
Yeah, you know that happened to me once.
It's happened to all of us if you've been around long enough.
John, how's your prep? What do you do right when you find out you've got that gig? You're gonna do this event for these maybe it's a wedding, or I'm going to say wedding. I know not everybody wants to hear wedding all the time, but I'm going to say wedding. And you've got that wedding, and she tells you your venue. What's the next step you're going to take?
Reach out to the event reps at the venue. Talk to them via email. Talk to them on the phone. Definitely do a site visit. Yeah, just keeping that communication open, proactive, and addressing concerns. I know one wedding I did, just recently we had the Dancing on a Cloud, and the event coordinator at the hotel was a bit apprehensive because they hadn't done that before. So she was afraid of smoke alarms going off, and I was able to just address her concerns, get the right people plugged in, asking her to bounce the concern off of the maintenance folks, and then also timing things right so that cloud would stay on the ground rather than be dissipated by the air conditioning system. So yeah, plugging in with the venue staff is just, I see it as an essential point of success. And if they love you, then you're going to be top of mind when somebody comes in their office and is looking for a quality DJ, quality MC.
Yeah, I probably over worry because I take photos of the layout. I have a sketch pad. I'll draw where the outlets are at. And I also go as far as making sure the gaff tape color is going to match. And if I have enough that I might need, and it's just pretty much if you know what system that you're going to use, you try to figure out how much gaff tape you're going to need.
One of the big things is for your grand entrances and other elements is locating the lights and how they work. Whether certain banks will turn off, some won't. There's no control over them, and some will take everything out, and nobody can walk anywhere because there's no light. So it's finding a happy balance where, can we dim it a little bit to create that mood and ambiance?
Also, it doesn't hurt to ask if there's somebody going to be available, the day of the event there for the venue. So you have somebody to talk to if you do have a problem. Is this outlet hooked onto this? If you don't have a way to check everything out, but I do like to have somebody there to, in case something comes up. It's nice to have a name. You do that, making sure that there's somebody you can talk to, Sean?
Definitely. I like to reach out and just send out an introductory email to them, and then also get their contact number if possible. If something comes up, just reach out to them. Yeah, I think what's really driven my success, especially working with venues, is just being friendly, just being proactive, just addressing concerns, being open, and being available too.
Yeah. You have any tricks that you have if you can't get to the venue?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess usually I'm able to make it to the venue. I think it's just carving out some time. I think just carving out some time has helped me just to make, as I mentioned, make time for that site visit.
Well, it's nice that, like Jimmy was saying earlier, that you can go on the internet too and check it out. Like when he went to Florida, I'm sure he didn't travel all the way to Florida. Did you travel all the way to Florida, Jimmy, and do a site inspection, or did you go on the internet?
Oh, I went on the internet and I used Google Earth, to get a lay of the land. In some of the circumstances, the 3D view really helps out a lot. You can spin around and see certain things that you normally wouldn't see. Also, what I do is I just Google the name of the place, and I go images. So I look on Google Images for everything available on that locale. And yeah, street level, you name it. It you know, you can see layouts like Howie and I have a wedding coming up, and I pulled up all kinds of images of the venue and send them to Howie and say, hey, we can set up this way, we can set up that way, but we're going to have issues if we have to go another way.
Yeah, if people haven't used Google View, they really need to check it out. You can even look into the backyard of a venue. You know, if that's where you're setting up in the back, you can look in the back and figure out what they're talking about, or what the bride said where you're going to set, or, you know, or whomever, the planner. Like I said, I do DIY stuff, so I'm usually always talking to the bride about everything and helping her out with stuff. Back to gear preparation. I have 3 systems, but it really doesn't matter how many you have, even if you just have one. So pre-event, you set up the system, and you know, you getting everything together, your cables, your mics, your lights, the sound. And I try to do that. I try to you know, the system I'm going to use, I try to set everything up just before the event and make sure everything's working. Then I pack it up and I put it in a corner, and before I load it, and I go over a list. Yes, I'll have a list and I'll check it twice, just like Santa Claus or something there. But you know, I did hear one thing that was kind of really weird. People saying they were charging their lights, and I heard DJs say they use 8-hour lights, and they've used them at one event, and they still have 4 hours left. You still think that's enough juice, and you're going to take that chance, Howie? I mean, this is bothering me, so I got to mention it.
I wouldn't take the chance personally, because you know, just the scientist in me wouldn't allow that. And I know that the batteries are not going to be harmed by topping them off. So why not top them off? I know what you're speaking of, because there are some fixtures out there that will go 12 hours. And if you're doing a 4-hour event on a Friday and a 4-hour event on a Saturday, you're good to go with one charge. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, I just don't think showing up to an event and hanging on, if you only have 4 hours that you think is solid, and the event goes an extra hour, and then your lights start dimming down, or say the batteries are not as good as they should be in some fixtures, and you start losing juice around 3 hours, and you know, what are you going to do after setting all those lights up? You're going to have to give a refund or something. So, you know, just a few things that people should do, like testing out your mics. You guys test your mics out and the batteries. Make sure you have plenty of batteries. Sean?
Yeah, definitely have spare batteries. Definitely rescan the mic once you have people there. You don't know who's walked in. Everybody's carrying a cell phone, so I mean, there can be additional electrical interference. So yeah, just to make sure, I think Howie coined this phrase, have a backup to the backup.
There you go. Yeah. There was somebody said about, something about carrying stuff for years and they haven't had to use it. Well, my thought is I might carry around a little too much weight, but you know, it's hey, it's there. It makes you comfortable. Even if you have to dump a whole case to find a little teeny part, you're good. You know, you can hurry up and switch over really quick. I try to carry my little things in a small case, like the little attachment things. I carry those in a small case. And some people have backpacks and stuff like that. Jimmy, you have a backpack, or you carry those little things?
Actually, I carry a Hercules tool bag from Harbor Freight. I actually bought a bunch of them, and they have little pockets on them for the smaller stuff. recently I went and bought like 40 AA over at Costco, and got a hell of a deal on it. I think it was like $14 for 40 of them. And I grab a handful, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and away I go. And I throw away batteries, if they're dead. Sometimes you can bring them home and use them in remotes. I got that from Howie. Use TV remotes because they don't take nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, something about Howie, and he really relies on rechargeables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a real big fan of. What brand did you say? You told me the brand that you used one day.
It's not a brand as so much as the chemical composition. I use the nickel metal hydrate, latest generation on those. And if you notice that the newer lights, like the Ape Lab lights that are out, they're nickel metal hydrate because there is no hazardous shipping involved with that. If you get the lithium, it takes forever to get to you. And there's a premium on that because they're sequestered during shipping and in warehouses and so forth. So I went with them for, it was an engineering compromise on my part, and I know that they're reliable. They only got a bad rep years ago when the first generation, you would charge it, but you'd have to use it immediately because in a couple of days it would drop off. Now you can charge it and you can come back 6 months later and there's 90% of the charges still there. So for me, the economics told me that I do so much with them that I could save a lot of money over the lithium, and that's why I use them, with the exception of the wireless mics, because I consider every event that I do mission critical, and I use the Duracell alkaline batteries for those.
Yeah.
The other ones I can run them in parallel. And I just, for anything from my uplights to my battery powered amp I build to anything, that's what I go with.
Yeah, sorry everybody if you couldn't follow that because Howie's next to Ben Stowe really gets geeky on us.
Yeah, Ben and I are kindred spirits. He coined that phrase. He said, "We are kindred spirits."
Well, that's the ABCs of prep work. Remember, backup equipment, the worst can happen, and usually it will. So make sure you have backup equipment.
Hey, Robin?
Yeah. Oh.
This is 2 years ago.
Oh, geez. That thing is still lighting up?
Yeah.
I charged those 2 years ago when he won the auction or the 12 days of Christmas. You won that.
Yep.
You're not getting one, Sean, so don't think about it.
We're at 30.3 volts.
Wow. Yeah, that's dynamite. I bid on that, but Jimmy outbid me that day.
Are you sure? 30? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, all right. So there you go. Anecdotally, not scientifically, the nickel metal hydrate batteries work just as well as the lithium at a fraction of the cost, and they don't catch on fire.
And for those of you who have never seen this before, this is designed and built by Howie Darkstar. It is a complete amplifier that you can run.
And mixer.
Yep.
And lovingly named Howie Box.
Brian did that. I called that the V2 because that was the second version.
Okay, Howie, go ahead and end this topic and sign us off.
Really quick. It can run a mixer and an amp on there, correct? Or can it run?
Yes, it's an amplifier and a mixer that is powered by AA batteries, and it will last 8 hours. and it powers passive speakers.
And your wireless mic too.
And it powers the wireless mic, anything 12 volts. Actually, you could power anything, any little dongles that you might need. It'll power 2 cordless mics or 3, and it can be configured to anything.
And it has the built-in amp, and really, PV should have took your design and ran with that instead of what they did with their stuff. Sorry, PV.
Yeah. We don't always have a plug wherever we go, so yeah.
Yeah, it's I use it a lot for summer picnics that I do. Especially if it's near water. They get where I'm like, oh, can you do a pool party? And what about that? I go, don't worry about me. I don't use extension cords near a pool, so it's perfect. I originally made it for Brian to make it easy to set up all in one, and then he would just have to carry the speaker. And then I realized, wow, I can use this as a main because I get that much sound pressure level out of it. I hooked up with Ben Stowe and ran the math by him. And I said, Ben, can you recommend a touring grade speaker that I could use? And he recommended one for me. And a week later, I had 2 speakers that I consistently get asked to turn down.
I know you ran that one time just for testing, like 10 hours.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I call it an 8-hour speaker.
That system has saved the day where Howie got locked out of the power box and then there was water in the power box. All right, and you don't mess with that.
No,
it's just, but there are many commercial offerings out there now that, of course, since I built that a few years ago, and I'm glad that the manufacturers are paying attention to what we need, and I would suggest that anybody should at least either whether you're going to build your own or buy the commercially available ones that are out there to just have that in your vehicle. You could save the day. Like that lady was so grateful that it was like it was her daughter's graduation from medical school, and it meant everything to her. And you can, what would you do if the power went out at a wedding? And I've had that happen to me, and they light candles and boom, here I am with the music. And it became even more special for those people that everything went smoothly. So I'm real serious when I say stress-free. I guarantee it's stress-free no matter what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure you can handle it.
And tip-worthy.
And for that, we're going on to our next topic. Everybody say good night right now.
Thank you all.
The next topic. Hey. The DJNTV gang is back again. This is kind of funny. We're doing topics tonight, and we're going to dive right in to talk about the right music for your event. And I'm sorry about that squeal right there. I just think it's so cute having all these guys together and able to talk about DJ stuff. I'm really enjoying it. Music can knock down a wall, or it can open connections between your client. Communication is everything. And I'm going to jump right in with Howie again. You know the importance it is. How important is it, Howie, to make sure your client knows that they're going to enjoy the music that you're going to play for their event?
For me, because I love what I do, and this is what I've done my whole life, it's like having a cup of coffee in the morning. I go, I feel so much better. And knowing that they have peace of mind and that they've had a great event, there's not a feeling like it. If you truly love what you do, like I do, it's hard to describe to someone who is maybe just in it for the money, or it's a side job or something. But it's easy for me to put people at ease when they first contact me. And it's just something I was born with, that I can reassure them and back it up with video and pictures, that I will make your event stress-free. And when they trust me and we're a good fit, I don't sweat it. I really don't sweat anything.
As some of us make playlists, but I know Jimmy has a 250 gig hard drive, and he kind of does things a little different. Jimmy, you want to elaborate on how you do that with 250 gig hard drive?
That's an update, by the way. It's actually 170. And I'll be honest with you. I cut away the fat, cut away the junk they'll never play. All right, the room crushers, the downers. All right, I keep party hits and eclectic favorites in there. I mean, there's things that I play that other people don't, and it's just it's my thing. All right, and they want to hire me for me. All right, not because I can play somebody's playlist. If somebody gives me a 200 song playlist, they're not my client. I hate to say it, but they're not. They want a jukebox.
Well, not 250 song playlist or whatever.
I've gotten them.
No.
People send
are you guys using music apps like Spotify and Fun Wedding app or something like that?
I use basically the top 200 by DJ Intelligence. All right, and fill in a little bit here and there, and basically, I just create a list, and they can go down and check off what ones they want.
Yeah, I'm digging for something, so I want to know how, Sean, do you use the Spotify or Fun Wedding?
Wow, Robin, what I think I really focus on is just being curious with a couple to find out what they love, what they like. It usually comes out in the conversation, whether it be an in-person conversation or on Zoom. You get hints, then you figure out their age range. I think the key thing that I've seen that's made me successful is just being very curious about the wedding, about the guests, so you can find out a lot of information about who likes what. Even calling, calling like the mother-in-law or the future mother-in-law or father-in-law. Make some time to do that, to connect and find out is there a special song that they love. Yeah, that's really helped me.
Well, there's some new things being done with Spotify and Fun Wedding. People with Spotify, you can have your client give you their Spotify playlist that they might want, so you have an idea. You don't have to play their playlist, or not all of it. Take some songs off of it, make them happy. But people are using that as a way to make sure they can interact with the client faster and get that information back faster. And the Fun Wedding app is also another way to do that. So,
I don't worry too much about a music playlist. The thing that I want is, what do you want to hear for the grand entrance? What do you want for your first dance and the parents' dances? And then, hey, give me 10 songs that you might like to hear, and I'll know what you like. And then we have the cocktail hour and dinner hour to throw stuff out to see what sticks. And Jimmy, we didn't make a playlist other than we knew what we were going to do in North Carolina. We knew what song was going to be the first dance and what to play during the grand entrances. But
I played
stuff out there, and they were dancing through everything because you can pick up on that. And they did have They did have a few must plays, and then they were happy to say, "Oh, I can trust these guys." And that's just how I roll. I don't take a 40. If somebody gives me 40 or 50 must play songs, you might as well have a jukebox, because that's, that's 4 hours right there, because they're going to have activities, and in real time you really only have maybe 2.5 hours of dancing for real.
Yeah, 20 songs an hour is the best, unless you're hot mixing.
Right. Yeah. And nobody wants that at a wedding.
No, I kind of like to have a playlist. I might look at it a little bit scientifically. I don't know. I like to put their stuff in with my stuff and see what's going to fit a little bit. But I don't necessarily stick to it, because if I can see something else is working a little better, or somebody gives me a request, I'm going to change it up. But I don't mind having that playlist, because I'm a single op and I'm doing so many different things, and I might just hurry up and run and go start another song real quick while I'm doing something else, like that Dancing on the Clouds or something. Mine's not the fantastic Dancing on the Clouds. I have the American DJ Fogger thing, but it does really well, and I can't do everything all the time, so it's not like I use it as a total crutch, but I do like to have it. And Spotify, another thing with the Spotify is you hear younger DJs say they don't know the 70s or they don't know the 80s music. Well, you can use Spotify, jump in there and start listening to the stuff, get to know what the music's like. You don't always have to like it, but your clients are going to like it, so you really need to know it.
One of the big things is look at your play counts. Go on, if there's something you want to play, go on and see how many play counts there are on Spotify, how many are on YouTube. All right, if the stuff is under 1 million, it really isn't that big of a deal. If it's only got a couple 100,000, and it's like from the artist Vivo or whatever, it's not that hot. And one of the things is visual. Take visual cues and active cues from the people around you as you play the songs and work through the night. All right, there's so much, everybody says reading the crowd. Trust me, you read the crowd and you look for subtleties. Are they smiling? Are at least 50% of the people smiling, even though they're engaged in a conversation? They're smiling and they're laughing and playing. You're connecting.
Yeah, they're tapping their toes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go get yourself a soda or something from the bar, stop by a couple of tables and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Introduce yourself. Make it a personal connection.
Right.
You don't have to sit there and hang over them like a car dealer. Just casually slide through, and make a little connection. And invite them to say, "Hey, later on, if you come up with an idea for a song, come on up. Let me know what you'd like to hear."
Exactly.
Yeah. And Jimmy, when you're walking around, when you're doing that at an event, you're also listening to see how it sounds. Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Because I know, there are some people who will blast the music, and if you're at a wedding or a party, it's just going to drive people away. And you just want to make, and Brian talked about this a bit, have like a zone, your hot zone for the dance floor, and then a conversational area. Because you mentioned, Jimmy, people are going to be talking, and you you don't want to have the music compete with the conversation, or else they're going to leave and they're not even going to come to the dance floor. They're just gonna be out there.
My big thing is when I meet with my clients, whether online or in person, I always stress to them, keep grandma away from the speakers. Right?
Yeah.
Put her, if she's got to be on the dance floor, put her at the furthest edge of the dance floor. All right? Don't put her on the sides where she's going to get walloped, because, I'm using the EV50s, and I get good dispersion, so it's not, it's going to travel. Now, Howie knows that, I don't kill it. I do not overblast people. I rarely go over 90 decibels during cocktail or dinner. Sometimes you have to because the crowd is that big and that loud and the room is bangy. It doesn't have a lot of softness to it.
That's because I bring a decibel meter and tell you to turn down.
and I turn around and tell you turn down for what?
Yeah, they plays turn down for what. Hey, thanks, guys. That was a great round there.
Well, we need to go ahead and wrap this one up. Go ahead, Howie, and I just wanted to say one thing before we do that. Don't forget to check out DJNTV's many videos. Click on Disc Jockey News, then videos, and then there is a search feature that helps you find any topic that you might be interested in. Go ahead, Howie.
Alrighty. Hey, and another plug we have a feature at Disc Jockey News called The Insider, and we have a lot of exclusive content there that you will not see in a YouTube video anywhere by the top people in the industry have all participated, or most of them, and it's an ongoing thing. They're on Monday nights, and if you join up the Insider area, you have access to all the back catalog stuff and much more.
And you can watch it at your time frame.
Yes,
I'll get it.
That's the point. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a good night.
Here we are again, this time talking about thoughts on personal qualities we think a DJ must have. And let's jump in with DJs being reliable. I think you should be their guy. The DJ, your client doesn't need to worry about. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And do you feel that way, John? Do you stick to every word you tell your client you're going to do?
Yes. Yes, it's important to be reliable because they're putting their trust in you. And it's also, I know we mentioned it in another video or earlier today, it's important to have that backup. And as you mentioned it, Robin, being efficient. I mean, that's a benefit if the officiant doesn't make it, you're there, and the wedding goes. It doesn't stop. It goes on. It's essential to make their day successful.
Yes.
Yes. You believe in being reliable, Howie? Of course, we know we can count on Howie Darkstar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I believe it's just you either are or you aren't, and I think that has a lot to do with my mom, and so I was just brought up that way, to do more, and then also I'm an Eagle Scout and be prepared, and honest, trustworthy, brave, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and irreverent. So yeah, it's just in me. I can't change that, and it just comes out. And when I give, I always get back more than I've given. I found that to be true. I mean, when Sean mentioned on one of the first shows here in this series that, you know, when he reached out and we became friends, I've actually learned a lot from him. So, I mean, why wouldn't I, you know, be reliable and answer calls and be that guy that they can depend on?
Yeah, I think it starts from the first meeting. Be on time for that first meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, you went. Oh, there you go. You unmuted yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to be on time, John. I know you will.
Definitely. Something that's been important to me is just to wear that smile, to be welcoming, be available, be present, be encouraging. I mean, we might be the first person that a groom sees before he walks up to the altar. I mean, there's so many butterflies going on in one stomach. I remember for me, it was like a omelet with too much hot sauce. That's what I had before my wedding. I mean, I wasn't going to eat the rest of the day, but being able to be encouraging, and just to be resilient, so that when there's a challenge, our guests, our clients, they don't know it because we're handling it.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, I know you've been around for a long time, long time, and I know you're that guy that they can count on too.
Yeah, you know, always bringing extra stuff. I mean, as simple as I have a wired mic plugged in, just in case the wireless craps out. Having over-the-counter medication in case somebody has a headache in the bridal party, and you know, little mini sewing kit. You know, all those emergency things that seem so simple, but they can make or break somebody's day. You know, leave early. You know, if your wedding is at 2 o'clock and you have, you know, and you're planning on being there 2 hours early and it's an hour away, I'm leaving about 3.5. You know, because you never know. Sometimes even more if it's further away or it's a troublesome, like you got to go down a highway that is known for having traffic jams because of the thing. You always have to plan way ahead and prepare for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think if you want to implant to a new client that you are reliable, I think the first steps to that are responding promptly to whatever form of communication whether they call, you return the call. If it's a message, you return the message promptly. And one of the things I do is I even tell them things that aren't really necessary, just so that they know that I'm working on this. Like, I'll do a site inspection and I'll fire off a message or whatever method they've chosen to communicate through and say, I just visited your venue today and I am so excited for you and your betrothed. This is a wonderful place. The staff is fantastic. And, you know, just, you know, they're like, wow, well, we didn't ask for this. You know, they know you're showing up. If
Yes.
you took the trouble to do a site inspection.
Yes, I think that is. When you're reliable and you're good to your word will get around.
Mm-hmm.
People will know that, hey, you can count on this guy. Mm-hmm. Another thing I think is a good quality is being social.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't just mean, you know, being social with other people. It also means being social, like you and Jimmy working together, like you guys work together.
Yeah.
And you guys do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working on my smile right now. I just have to bring that game up a little bit.
Yeah, I used to have a pretty much a killer smile, and over the years you start losing that. It's just life does get to you, but people need to see that the real you and the you that you're going to bring to their event.
Yeah,
And so that's part of being social, is that smile that Sean was talking about earlier, is to have that smile and everything, and networking with other DJs. And do you network with other DJs, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm in the chapter, our local chapter of the Bay Area. Let me try that again. I'm in the local chapter of the ADJA. So when I need help, I can call and get help on my events with people that I'm familiar with working with. Additionally, there's some great training, great encouragement. Think of another person or more people to bounce ideas off of. It's just amazing to be able to. I think as DJs, sometimes we can just hide and just be fearful that somebody will take our business. They'll take our hook. Those things that get people's attention, but really I don't see that's the case. I see that in reaching out, I've learned new MC skills. I've gone to courses. I've learned about essential meetings, local meetings that have really been beneficial to me. Networking, reach out. That is important.
You got a personal quality that you think, a trait that you would think, Jimmy, that you would think is important?
Yeah, I keep old women who are freezing cold warm. They always love hugging on me because I'm warm. I'm
warm. So being warm is a good trait.
I'm telling you. And the old ladies, they'll come up to me, "Hi, how you doing?" I shake their hand, and they're like, "Oh, your hands are so warm." And I hold their hand. I go, "Do you mind?" And I put my other hand over it, and they're like, "Ooh, they end up snuggling up to me." And
well, that might not be a good thing. That might get you in trouble nowadays.
No. There's nothing bad about this. I'm their grandson. I'm their son. And they trust me. And then the other people see, wow, Aunt Betty loves the DJ. Let's go see what's up.
Yeah. Well, Howie mentioned something on. I'm gonna get out of that one. Howie mentioned something on Ben Stowe's post, and it was the word that really stood out to me because I really believe in this. And I know we're going to say it, Howie, but I'm going to say it because you mentioned on Ben Stowe's post about integrity.
Yes.
That one word.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, what can I say? I'm a Boy Scout, there's just, I gotta say, in my youth, I would do things wrong. Once you become to the age of reasoning and right from wrong, I have always felt ugly inside if I did something wrong. And, like any kid, going through school, I've been in, fist fights and stuff. And, I always felt ugly afterwards, and I don't like that. And I love to make people laugh and smile. And when I got involved in the theater and I was doing some stand-up comedy and stuff and all that stuff from high school on up, it just grabbed a hold of me and said, make people smile. And I left those old ways behind, and I haven't felt ugly about myself in a very, very long time, and and that's because if you operate and your motives are pure and they're done with love, that's integrity. When a bride says, "I want the works and I want to hire you for the or do the upsell for the uplights," and I will tell her, there's no need for uplighting in this particular room because of the layout you have. You have so many people, it will be ineffective, and I can't take your money. That's integrity, and that gets around, you know.
The quality of being an honest person.
Yeah, and it always comes back. I have not. It's like a smile. I can't give a smile away because it keeps getting returned to me, just as integrity gets returned to me as well. You know, it's just I don't know. When you want to make a better world and a better society, it starts with me, and let it go out. And I think that and I see that in a lot of people. I see that in Sean's daily walks when he goes live. I see that in Jimmy when he's being creative with the graphics for somebody that, oh, they just want this, and he goes over and above and beyond. And then when I see him spin, it's like, wow, you know, they didn't ask. They wanted dancing during, you know, the dancing portion, but he had him dancing, you know, from cocktail through dinner. And then Robin, yourself, there's a lot of integrity there. I admire you so much for the way that you take care of your son and the way that you handle, you know, your personal affairs, and you're always out there hustling and helping people. I mean, every one of you, I know personal stories that I won't reveal here, where you have helped people personally. Without compensation, and that to me is the height of integrity.
Hey, Sean, you did military service, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Army. Yeah. I want to thank you and Robin for your service to our country.
Absolutely.
Right? And, you know, people don't understand. I tried to go in the military. I tried to go in the Navy, and for medical reasons, I didn't make the cut.
Oh, wait a minute! You told me that's
not it.
Wait, you told me that they wouldn't accept you because they wanted you to wear a shirt.
Oh, yeah. He was trying to warm up to the sergeant.
Yeah, I was holding the sergeant's hand. Yeah.
Maybe officer, you're cold.
John, any personal traits that you think is necessary or would be great for a DJ?
Who? Oh, me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Sorry for the high voice again.
No, it's okay. Yeah. So we covered reliability. We covered smile. I would say, gosh, a internal drive to be better and better. We talk about it with the backup. We've touched on like MC skills, on monograms, on mixing, on choosing the right songs. Yeah, there's. I mean, for the people who are going to be successful, they just need to. I would say let the mind wander into what can be. Put that phone away. Don't do it right now. But yeah, at some point, just unplug and just dream, and then write down your goals. Stick to those goals. You know, get in front of some people. Don't be the smartest one in the room. Find another room if you're the smartest one in that room. Mm-hmm. And nowadays we have all these internet resources. You have live shows like this. You have local associations. You can find a room of people who can help you run faster and faster and know more and more. So yeah, I think that zest for more knowledge and that generosity to give that knowledge out to others, so that it's not just hoarding all that knowledge. It's depositing just depositing that just freely in others' lives. That's what I see as important.
Yeah. I also think like perseverance, you know, not giving up when something goes wrong, because you have to be able to stick with things and be prepared. Of course, I had lost electricity, and I had a battery powered speaker, and everybody's been through things, but you can't give up, and you have to stick with whatever, you know, whatever comes at you. And it doesn't matter what happens, you know, you don't get in a gig for a long time. Well, you don't give up. You stick with it. You persevere. You check into what other people are doing. You do whatever you need to do. And, you know, Howie, he's a really great example to follow as far as somebody that perseveres. I mean, this guy has so many tricks in his little bag of many, many tricks. And he's always ready for whatever's going to happen next. And he just doesn't give in or give up. And he's somebody to really, you know, to keep an eye on. You got to keep an eye on Howie, because you're going to learn from him.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the personality traits that I would encourage others to develop, that I have, is that I know I don't know it all. I am still teachable, and I am not afraid at all to ask for advice. I have not arrived. I'm not there. As a matter of fact, I was talking with Sean earlier today on a topic, and I had reached out to some other people, and we pretty much universally agreed that we're like, I don't know, but we got to be working on this. So now I have, you know, a small group of people that are working on something together that we all haven't mastered. You know, it just remaining teachable, and, you know, not arrogant. That would be that's big for me. That's big for me, and I have that thirst for knowledge that I need to know. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian has remained humble too, and I really like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's become a brother. It's just amazing how much we think alike when it comes to these sort of ideas that we come up with, and but very, very, very humble about it. And you know, and he gives, you know. I think that's why we became so tight. You know, we're very, very similar personalities. So,
yeah.
That's how Brian and I kind of
blessed.
You know, he was doing a gig at the casino. I'm like, well, dude, why don't I make you a little, you know, graphic bumper for your New Year's Eve gig? And, you know, I could throw these things together. I've been working in television for years, and I can, you know, I could throw stuff together that looks pretty good and looks higher dollar and more complex than what it really is. And I'm like, dude, he goes, what do I owe you? I go, don't worry about it, man. You know, it's one guy looking out for another guy to make if it keeps him looking at the top of his game, and there might be some time down the, you know, way down the road that I might need a favor, you know, and that's that. You gotta be able to give.
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna pass it on, just like we have passed it on tonight.
Yeah,
haven't we, Robin?
Yes, I also like taking time like tonight and helping other people out, and that's why we're on here. We're not getting paid for this. We're on here because we want to share And the newer DJs, even, we want to give them a hand up. We're not asking for any charity or anything. We're just wanting to give. And I think that's a great thing, is to have some good traits. And I believe all the people that are here tonight on the show here have very good qualities, personal qualities.
And I haven't looked at the, who's watching right now, but I've seen a few earlier, and there's some good people in there too.
Oh yeah, we have lots of there are some excellent DJNTV hosts, and Jim Sharon on Sunday. You guys should not miss his show. He gives you all these tips on music. Of course, you might have heard it, or you didn't even think the name sounded good on the song, like I did on one song. I'm like, okay, that is probably one of those nasty songs again. But I looked it up, and it turned into a pretty good hit. Matter of fact, I think it's on Billboard #1 right now. I'm not going to drop names and everything, but but check him out. And there's other good hosts on DJNTV. And if there's anything that you can't find, a video that you can't find on Disc Jockey News Videos, look up DJNTV on Facebook. And let us know what you might want to see. Let John know. Look up John Young on Facebook and let us know what you might want to see. And later tonight, we're going to go hang out in the DJ chat, hang out. So stick around and hang out with us, and everybody say good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks. Thank you so much.
Night.